Hey, everybody, how you doing? Well, that's good. Welcome to PHLY Flyers pregame. My name is Bill Matz. I'm your director of fun and games for the evening. Joining me tonight live in the Xfinity studio, it is Philly's #1 hockey beat writer, Charlie O'Connor. Chuck, I just got to say, now that I have you here in person, I can finally take you to task.
Okay.
For the way you maliciously attacked Sam Ersson by naming him the first star of the game after the Boston game.
Oh man.
Just unbelievably distasteful.
It was very funny. I don't usually check the comment section of articles that aren't mine, but I happen to just like kind of on a whim be like, I wonder what the Athletic comment section
Just
is
go
saying.
check out
after
the old
this game.
neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
Like it's your old
And
neighborhood.
this dude is ripping on me for giving Sam Ersson the first star because he felt like I was making fun of Ersson when I clearly was not doing that. It was very weird.
Well, Charlie, tonight is game 65 for our Philadelphia Flyers, and if you think I'm not counting down, I am.
Oh, I can tell you are.
Oh my God, I have it's still too early for senioritis because April, there's a game basically every day, but we're getting there, man. We're getting there. Before we get on with tonight's pregame show, I got to tell you to like, comment, and subscribe. Do all three. It's good for you. It'll whiten your teeth. Follow us right here on the PHLY Sports YouTube page. Listen, we've had a lot of new listeners and viewers lately. The YouTube page, so much great content, not just for the Flyers, but all the teams here in Philly. Check it out, and hit the like button just because it makes me happy. All right, tonight's lineup for Flyers Minnesota Wild. This is a hell of a turnaround. I didn't realize this was until I looked at the schedule and saw you were in studio.
Yeah.
Did not realize this was an away game.
Yep.
They're home last night, and then they have a 24-hour turnaround to get to Minnesota and play a game. Condensed schedule this time of year. You see, after the weekend, they do have 3 days off, but this is if this wasn't already a difficult game against one of the 3 or 4 best teams in hockey, this makes it pretty hard.
This is, and again, this is more, we've talked about it on the show before, but this is more of an NBA thing.
Yeah.
This is a scheduled loss. Like this is a game where on the schedule you look at it and you're like, yeah, you're probably not going to win this one. Now they could. Teams pull upsets all the time, but the chances of them winning this game because they outplayed the Minnesota Wild, a team that is significantly better than them on paper, that did not play last night, and that is playing at home, and the Flyers did play last night with travel, unlikely. You would think that the big pathway for them winning this game is Dan Vladar having a fantastic game, and Dan Vladar, as expected, is in net. Yeah. Sam Ersson played yesterday. They were not going to go to Sam Ersson a second straight night. They were always going to go one goalie gets the one game, one goalie gets the other.
I think they should have, personally.
Of course, because that would make you personally happy in this moment, even though it makes zero sense.
It makes no sense at all. He's like the worst goalie in hockey, and he came off one good game. Listen, he owes them a few games. Why not cash in?
It's like, oh, like the last thing I saw was me being happy with Sam Ersson. Yeah, throw him out there again.
Put him out there.
And then if he has a bad game, then it's going to be, oh, he's an AHL goalie. Cut him.
We need those points back that he stole for us last night. He only faced like 15 shots after the first period. He didn't really steal anything.
My point is that if the Flyers are going to win this game, it's probably going to be because Dan Vladar stands on his head. And I'm intrigued to see how Dan Vladar does, given the fact that the last game he played, he didn't look that good and was almost certainly a bit gassed. Rick Tocchet even acknowledged in the lead up to yesterday's game that, look, he would never admit it, but he was probably a little tired. This was only one day. I mean, I'm sure it helped, but was that enough time to allow him to recharge? I guess we'll see.
Yeah, and that's a bummer to see. Bobby Brink was going to be a game time decision tonight. He, of course, scored in his first game in Minnesota, the third game he'd played with them, but his first home game, but also got banged up in that game, went into the wall hard, got a little push from Logan Cooley. Didn't seem bad, but he just went in awkwardly and hit like he was not expecting to have to protect himself or whatever. And yeah, so he's out tonight. He finished that game, scored a goal, but he will miss tonight. So that's a bummer for him. Like, he had his homecoming game the other night, scores a goal, and now against a team that just traded him, he's going to be out of the lineup. But that messes with tonight's bets. I'm going to be honest with you.
Well,
we'll still have a former Flyer scoring against the Flyers because we always do. But we will have to take Bobby Brink off the ledger. Yeah, so thank you for that note, Brenna. Yeah, we talked about this the other day with Vladar. Like, I asked you, do you think it's the overall workload? You know, I've made the big thing. He's only started 29 games in a season before, and last game was game 30, start 38 for him. And we kind of made the distinction. Maybe he's just at this moment in time a little tired, coming back from the Olympics, doing the travel, then starting, I think, what, 7 out of 8 or something, 6 out of 7. Yeah. Basically played every night and played the 3 or 4 games leading into the break. Last night was only Erson's 3rd start since January 29th. It's been all Vladar. Yeah. Even with the time off, like, he did the travel to Italy. He's sleeping in a bed that a 6'5" person probably doesn't fit in while he's over there. Like, it just, maybe he's just a little worn down from current schedule. And even if it's just one day, maybe that can help. But hey, if he's just got dead legs, that might just be the case.
Yeah.
And we'll see. We have no idea.
I'm very intrigued to see how he plays, because I could see a world where maybe that Rangers game wasn't about fatigue. Maybe he just didn't have it. Sometimes goalies just don't have it on a given night. And if he comes out tonight and stands on his head and makes 30 saves on 32 shots and gives the Flyers a chance to win, then maybe he wasn't tired. Or maybe he was, and the extra day gave him a chance to get his legs back. It's just that if he is tired, this game could get real ugly, because the Flyers are already behind the proverbial 8 ball in so many ways, given the travel, given facing a rested team, given the fact the Wild are really good.
It's like all this, and then it's like, we haven't said Quinn Hughes or Kirill Kaprizov yet.
Yeah, they're pretty awesome hockey
players. They're 2 of the best players at their positions in the league, and we will see both tonight. No Brink, but still the stars for the Wild will be in, not the Dallas Stars or the Minnesota North Stars, the actual superstars of the team.
There you go.
Will be in the lineup. We have the Flyers lineup for you, or at least the lineup from morning skate today. And it's what we basically expected. Like Charlie said, Vladar starts, Hathaway in for Glendening, and Andrae in probably for Juulsen, as Jackie told us. Yeah, from practice this morning.
Yeah, I don't think there was. So there's never a practice the morning of like the second game of back-to-back, but they do give coaches availability about 2 hours before puck drop. So I'm guessing that's what this was from.
Yeah, when I looked at the Flyers Twitter, I'm usually like, oh, and this was 4 hours ago. Okay. And it was like 16 minutes ago. Yeah. And so Rick Tocchet spoke a little bit before.
I'm guessing Jackie and the Flyers PR people that are on the trip probably spoke to him about like 5:30, 6 o'clock.
Yeah. The Glendening thing is funny. I made fun of it. Yeah, I asked you what the hell's the point of this, right? And then Rick Tocchet actually expounded on it in his pregame yesterday, or morning skate yesterday. And it's something I've brought up. All the Flyers centers are left-handed, and with Zegras playing center, that makes all 4 left-handed.
Yeah.
Dylan Strome came in at 59.5%. He's left-handed. You want a righty to go against him. Glendening was 3 out of 4 against him last night, I think. Pretty good. So it actually was a matchup thing. It worked out. 4 face-offs, whatever, but it's why he was in the lineup, and it was fine.
It's something that a coach cares about. Do I think that those 4 face-offs, or those 3, I guess,
2 of them were in the first period.
Did it swing the game? No, but those are the types of things that like just make coaches feel better about being on the bench, knowing that if there's a big face-off, I can put Glendening out.
And we've always said, like, the coach, once the puck drops, has so little control over what is actually going to go on out there. It's not like, oh yeah, an NFL coach can be like, run this play. You're doing this. Like, and a hockey coach, like, I can switch up the lines. And pregame, I can switch up the lineup. I can't make the goalie make a save, but I can do these things. And it's those little matchup things. And so it did actually make sense, and it sort of kind of paid off last night. Hey, they won, and the guy was 75%.
Sure.
But it is Hathaway in there for him tonight. He gets back into a game, as does Emil Andrae. I said last night, Steve is still annoyed with the Andrae thing. Just like play him, because what's like the alternative is Noah Juulsen.
Yeah.
So
I agree with that.
I agree. I am resigned to the fact that they have just made their evaluation. And if neither guy is here next year, that's fine with me.
I don't think it's that. I think they maybe have made their evaluation, but I don't think that's what's going on here. Like, let me put it this way. If and when the Flyers do get functionally eliminated, I think Andrae will play more. But I think where they're at is that they still have a theoretical chance of making the playoffs. So Tocchet is putting what he views as the best 6 D-men out there. And right now he views Juulsen to be better than Andrae. And that's why he's playing. Like, I don't think this is well, we're not playing Andrae anymore because we made the decision we're getting rid of him. Like, they may have done that, but I don't think that's why he's sitting.
I know Toc brought up the penalty kill situation where Andrae not part of the rotation, and listen, Noah Juulsen not part of the immediate rotation.
Yeah, he's fifth. If one of the guys is in the box,
if a defenseman takes a penalty, he steps in for one of them.
Yeah,
but he's not in the top 4 rotation for the PK. But regardless, other than that, is there really an argument to be made that he's better than Emil Andrae?
I mean,
I don't like either of them. I don't think either are very good.
I think Andre's the better defenseman.
Right.
They look at it as, Juulsen's a righty shot, so you balance out the pairs.
I do love his shot.
There's the defense element. And I think, honestly, the coaches probably just trust Juulsen more. They trust him. They know what they're going to get out of him, whereas they don't know what they're going to get out of Andrae. I'm just saying that I do suspect that when they are eliminated, Andrae will play more. It's just that right now it's all about we're trying to win because if everything breaks our way, we could still make the playoffs, which means that the front office is giving John Tortorella is giving Rick Tocchet the ability to put your lineup out there, and I'm not going to step in and say, well, you have to play this guy because of developmental reasons yet. I'm sure there will come a day where they're going to be we're calling up David Jiricek. I don't really care if you want to play him or not. He's playing.
Charlie,
not there yet.
Always remember, ACAB. All coaches are bad. It's really true. I just want to run through just real quick. Dave Hackstall, college guy, first NHL job. Alain Vigneault gives us the money in the bank thing. He just made more deposits, right. And now Rick Tocchet trusts Noah Juulsen more than Emil Andrae for the simple fact of, we've probably been out to dinner before. Is John Tortorella the most progressive coach the Flyers have had going back to Berube?
Going back to Berube?
He really might be. I'm just trying to think of the...
Well, unless, other than maybe the interims. You had
the interims,
You had Mike Yeo in there. You had Scott Gordon.
Guys who were hired to be the head
Brad
coach.
Shaw in there briefly.
Yeah, sure. If Brad Shaw had got the job, he's probably the answer. Probably. But guys who, had an introductory press conference, hired as head coach, it really might be John Tortorella, because I feel like he had the least amount of, well, this is my guy, and I fear... I know Noah Juulsen's no good, but I know where he's no good. Whereas Emil Andrae, I don't know what mistakes he's going to make, and that terrifies me.
I always made the point that Tortorella reminded me a bit of Pat Gillick, where Pat Gillick was notoriously anti-analytics, but he had such a brilliant baseball mind that he would identify that Jason Worth was good without using analytics.
Horseshoe theory.
Yeah.
And we're basically right next to each other.
Yeah. And Torts was similar, where he really is a good hockey mind, and he could recognize that he hated analytics, but he was the first person to realize that Ristolainen stunk and had to change his entire game without really even caring about the numbers. It was just that Torts also was often a very petty, angry man who held grudges until the end of time.
No, that's the thing. There's
no
doubt he's an insane person, but he might be the most progressive coach we've had since I don't even know when.
Maybe.
Anyway, that popped in my head as we're having this conversation about a third pair D-man for the 12th time.
Beautiful.
Anyway, on the other side, we're actually going to talk a little bit about something I might want to credit Rick Tocchet with. We're going to talk about the Minnesota Wild.
Godspeed.
I know, really. It was our viewership's going to tank. Oh, Tony Escargot is in the chat. He's gonna love this. He's gonna take my cannolis back, and we'll share the bets on the other side. But we got to take our break. Have you ever had one of those days where you're moving nonstop and suddenly you realize you forgot to eat? Happens to me all the time, and that's why I love what Wawa is doing right now, because Wawa has $5 deals all day, and honestly, it just makes life easier. If you're starting early, you can grab the $5 big breakfast meal deal. We're talking a breakfast sandwich, a hash brown, at any size hot or iced coffee. That's a full morning win for $5, available from 5 to 11 a.m. Then later in the day, the value keeps rolling with a crispy chicken sandwich created your way, starting at just $5. And they've even even got new teriyaki recipes for a limited time. It's real food, real value, and built for busy days. No planning, no overthinking. Just swing in, grab what you need, and keep it moving. Start your day strong and fuel up whenever you need with Wawa's $5 deals. Limited time, exclusions apply. See Wawa.com for details. Gotta have a Wawa. March means one thing, that it's go time for the playoff push. And at Elkins Chevrolet, it's go time for real deals. Elkins Chevy is three brothers making one promise: to treat you like family and give you a deal that makes sense. Trucks, Elkins has got them. SUVs, they've got those too. And payments that keep you in the game? Absolutely. It's Chevy Truck Month, and those tax refunds are starting to hit as well. That means it's a great time for Flyers fans to check out a new Chevy truck at Elkins. Get up to $7,360 in bonus cash on a new Silverado 1500. Contact Elkins Chevrolet today to see if you qualify for any additional offers. And if you're thinking about making a move, make it to Elkins Chevrolet on Route 73 in Marlton. Elkins Chevrolet, real brothers, real deals, and a whole lot of that honkin' good service. Together, let's drive, and together, let's go Flyers. Welcome back. Hit the like button or else.
I love that. Well done, sir.
Well, so they're like, oh, we love your calls to action. I'm like, they're threats. I'm not joking.
I wouldn't even call them thinly veiled.
Yeah,
they're
no,
actually
they're
threats.
like, or else.
Do it.
Yeah. So we have this segment here with the title Career Highs. Now, I know Rick Tocchet is not the most popular character here in the Flyers universe at the current moment, or really like since he was hired. I know it hasn't gone all that well with Matvei Michkov, who we believe to be franchise savior, next big thing, etc. But I want to look at a couple other guys whose seasons are going kind of well, and guys who about whom the narrative had turned negative or expectations were low. And man, it's hard to kind of argue with some of this. And I want to get I want to ask you, Charlie.
This is great because now I can be the devil's advocate who's anti-Tocchet instead of being the other way around.
I want to ask,
you're ranting and yelling about how bad he is, and I have to sort of defend him, and then people get mad at me. Now I can be the person that people like. This is great.
So last night, Trevor Zegras scores goal 22 of the season. He does so in the 64th game. He is one away from a career high, and he's doing it in 10 or fewer games than he's ever done it before. He had 23 and 75 and 23 and 81 previously. You look at Christian Dvorak, 38 points is his career high. He's there already in 63 games. Jamie Drysdale, the offense looks like it's coming around. 7 goals ties his career high. He's got 4 in the last 10. He's got 6 points in his last 10. It's been going pretty well for Jamie Drysdale. TK, it's not, I don't think he's going to get to a career high in goals unless he just goes nuts these last 18 games.
Unlikely.
But after last year, where he maxed out at 24 and had 4 in the second half, this is a pretty good bounce back season for TK, and he's done it in 60 games. And Noah Cates is 4 points away from a career high, and he had a big slump in the middle, and he's not being used the same way he was used previously. He's played a lot with Matvei Michkov instead of just, oh yeah, he's going to be our shutdown guy. It's gone differently, but he's still close to as effective. Owen Tippett, I don't think he's going to get to a career high, but I think everyone would say, eye test, this is the most consistent we've ever seen him play. Last night, you were like, oh, he was the best player on the ice. Wasn't close.
He was.
And I think everyone agreed. How much of this can we credit to the Rick Tocchet effect?
I guess
you're seeing so many guys, they're going to have career years or really jumpstart what we think could be their prime. And as much as we hold one guy against Tocchet, there are a bunch of guys who are playing pretty well.
Yeah, I guess I'm just skeptical looking at these particular guys. Honestly, Tippett's one of the ones where I would, and you'd even have him on your list. He's one of the ones where I'd be like, yeah, maybe I do give Tocchet a little credit there because he is playing more of a power forward style. I'm guessing that's something that Tocchet is pushing him. But let's go through the guys you know. Trevor Zegras, yes, is one away from tying a career high. I don't know how much I really and I think Tocchet has built up a good relationship with Trevor Zegras. I think that's working quite well. But Like, how much of this is just that Anaheim really screwed him up and now he's just back to being who he would have been if Anaheim wouldn't have ruined his career for a couple years and injuries didn't strike? So that's Zegras. Dvorak, he's just getting a lot of ice time. Like, if you give a guy a ton of ice time, he's going to score more points. It's just kind of math. Drysdale, yeah, Drysdale's been continuing his upward trajectory, but I would argue that upward trajectory began under Tortorella and specifically Brad Shaw. Yeah. Now, I think Todd Reirden's done a good job of continuing to foster that development, but I don't know how much I'm like, man, that's a Rick Tocchet feather in his cap. Travis Konechny, I don't think Konechny was bad last year. You just got real mad at him because he didn't score goals.
I mean, you need more than 4 goals in 41 games.
Saying, I think
I didn't get mad at him. That was bad. Like, he had a bunch of assists, and that's cool. But if you have 4 goals in 41 games, you're basically like on the Garnet Hathaway train. Like,
I'm just saying, I don't think
the puck has to go in the net sometimes.
I don't think Travis Konechny needed a bounce back year because I don't think he was bad last year. He's scoring more goals this year because he's shooting like 17%. I don't really credit that Tocchet. I just credit that with Travis Konechny's a good player who delivers good seasons because he's a real good player. And then Noah Cates, like, I don't know. Noah Cates is Noah Cates. He's basically doing a Noah Cates season.
He is, but if, like, he continues not going into a big slump like he had in December, like, he will crush his career high in points. Like, there's just enough here that makes me think, while I'm holding Matvei Michkov against the head coach, maybe we need to look at some of the other things, but I don't know, because these guys are of the age where you just have your career year, a lot of them. That's the thing, like, yeah. Jamie Drysdale and Owen Tippett are of the age. It's like, well, yeah, they should be playing the best hockey of their lives. Like, that's who they are in their, like, that's where they are in their development, in the middle of or the beginning of your prime.
I think you might be hitting on something here, but it might not be what you want, what you think you're hitting on. Like, to me, the takeaway from this is not actually secretly Rick Tocchet is doing a good job. To me, the takeaway from this is maybe just in general, we overrate the impact, both positive and negative, that a coach has on most of the players on his team.
Well, they're all bad.
That mostly, most of the time, a guy is going to do what he's going to do. And it's not like, oh, this coach turned him into a great player or this coach ruined him. Now, there are exceptions. The Michkov one, I think, is a unique situation because of everything that's gone on this year. But most of the players on a team, like, they're probably going to produce about the same if they play under John Tortorella, John Cooper, Rick Tocchet, John Hines, the guy from Pittsburgh. Like, generally speaking, I don't think coaches have that big of a individual player impact overall, aside from ice time.
Fair. All right, Charlie, I'm just asking questions here.
I'm just saying.
I'm a journalist.
Well, but it goes both ways, where, like, maybe we are overrating the negative impact that Tocchet is having on some guys, but maybe we are like we don't want to go on the other side and be like, well, he's working well with Dvorak. Like, is he, or is he just giving Dvorak 4 more minutes than he had last year? Is he ruining Matvei Michkov, or is Matvei Michkov just having a sophomore slump, and he might have had that under any coach?
Maybe he's just having a sophomore slump.
Maybe.
Yeah, and it was funny, like, national broadcast last night, and it's TNT, so no shock. They brought up the you playing for clicks question like 3 times.
Did they?
It got brought up like 3 times during the broadcast.
About Michkov or about Zegras?
Oh, no, about Zegras.
About Zegras, okay.
And it was just, it makes me laugh every time. Like, did he ever say he was like playing for Clit? Was he just like, when I'm out?
It was just the perception among hockey.
And it just makes me laugh. Like, if he wasn't a competitor, do you know how good at hockey he'd have to be to get to the level he was at? Yeah. Like, that means he's as good as Gretzky and doesn't care.
Oh, it's an insane idea, but it's something that the hockey world, the traditionalist hockey world believe. They 100% believe.
For him to be that good and not care, that means he's Gretzky. Anyway. That's my rant. I just wanted to ask you that question. Talk about the Minnesota Wild real quick. Bobby Brink was not out on the ice for warmups. We do not think he will be playing tonight. But without Bobby Brink, the Minnesota Wild are still real good. This is the funniest part. 38, 16, and 11, 87 points with a 669 points percentage. They are 3rd in the Central and 4th overall in the NHL in points and points percentage. I think Carolina is the only team not in their division that's actually ahead of them, and it's like .002 by percentage and maybe a point or two ahead of them. Like, it's dead heat between them. Right now, Carolina's a little bit ahead. They're awesome. And as you see the numbers here, over 25% on the power play. They don't give up a ton. They score over, they score basically 3 1/3 goals a game.
Pretty comparable penalty kills.
They're so good. Yeah, comparable.
Flyers have a penalty kill that's just as good as the Wild.
Penalty kill is such an ridiculous thing to me, Charlie. It can go through stretches of looking so good.
Yeah.
And now they give up a power play goal. They're back to giving up one every game again. It's wild. And just like the opponent tonight. All right.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Bryn. All right. So I wanted to ask you this about the Wild. Looking at their roster, looking at their composition, and they are legitimately Stanley Cup contenders. If you didn't think so before the Quinn Hughes trade, they absolutely are now. Are the Minnesota Wild a blueprint for maybe what the Flyers could strive to be? You look at their top centers, like Ryan Hartman is probably centering Kaprizov and Zuccarello. Joel Eriksson Ek, Boldy, and Johansson, he's centering. These are not exactly superstar 1Cs. This isn't McKinnon. Right, yeah. This isn't McKinnon. This is
Eriksson Ek is their best center.
Eriksson Ek is their best center, and he's a really good player. No one's confusing him with a star.
No, of course not.
Yeah. Do you think the Flyers, this could be a blueprint? Now, listen, it's not like, oh, well, we have good wingers. No, Kaprizov is one of the best wingers. He's 5th or 6th right now in hard odds. Obviously, Quinn Hughes, I bet you he's a Norris finalist. He's got the 4th or 5th shortest odds right now. I bet you he finishes top 3.
Probably.
Could you see this, though, considering the lack of that 1C as a blueprint for the Flyers?
Yeah, it's an interesting question because I don't want to call it a blueprint. I don't like that framing. It's more that I see it as validation that you can put together a team that is a cup contender, because that's what the Wild are. The Wild are a cup contender. Now, I don't know if they're going to win the Stanley Cup. Probably, if I had to bet, I would bet they don't, because I think Colorado is the best team in the league.
I would bet against everyone because you'd win.
But they are, objectively speaking, a cup contender, and if things break their way in the playoffs, they could easily win the Stanley Cup, and they are in cup contender status without a clear-cut superstar level first line center. They are showing you can do it. You can at least get to cup, generally accepted cup contender status. My controversial belief that I know most people do not agree with me on is that I don't think that all you do to see what to win is what kind of roster you need to build a Stanley Cup is look at all the Stanley Cup winners, and then just if a team didn't win a Stanley Cup, well, then they obviously weren't a Stanley Cup caliber team. No, I view the playoffs as mostly a crapshoot, and if you went into the playoffs as one of the top 5 teams in the league by record, by underlying numbers, I think you could have won the cup. You just maybe didn't. But I don't think that the fact that Carolina hasn't won a Stanley Cup yet means that they are not a cup caliber team.
Yeah.
They're just a really good team that could win a cup, but hasn't yet. And Minnesota, I think, is now on that level. So Minnesota is, in a way, from a roster construction standpoint, validation that you can build a cup contending caliber roster without super high-end centers. Now, it would make a lot of people feel a lot better if then they go out and win a Stanley Cup too. That would make a lot of Flyers fans feel great. But yeah, I think it should be a little bit of validation for the Flyers that, yeah, you can build a really, really good team without centers. The only thing is that they also have an MVP candidate at wing, an MVP candidate on defense. They have a really good young goalie.
They have really good
They have one of the most underrated players in hockey, and Matt Boldy as another winger. So the Flyers need a hell of a lot more talent than they have now to pull off this strategy.
Oh, yeah.
But it does show you that you can build a cup contending caliber roster without a Nathan McKinnon at center.
Either way, Danny has a ton of work to do. But there are the Carolinas, the Minnesotas that make you think, hey, it's doable.
Yeah.
Even without McDavid at center,
Yeah.
All right. We got to get to the pregame picks before we wrap up the pregame show here. Let's do that now. With Bobby Brink out, we were going to take him over half a point in an anytime goal, of course. But instead, we're going with another former Flyer, Charlie.
Ryan Hartman.
We're taking that Ryan Hartman anytime goal.
I knew where you're going with this. I really did.
350, the all-time maybe greatest first shift in Flyers debut history.
Yeah.
Him or Tyrell Goulbourne. I don't know if that was Goulbourne's first shift now.
Tyrell Goulbourne.
One of my favorites ever. But yeah, Ryan Hartman to score tonight. I loved Ryan Hartman. I wish we had kept him. He's just a dirty bastard, and I love that. All right, that is all the time we have for you on PHLY Flyers pregame. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for hanging out. If you haven't already, got to hit that subscribe button. Follow us right here on the PHLY Sports YouTube page. We'll be back live with postgame as soon as this thing goes final. Follow us on Twitter at PHLY_Flyers and follow the podcast wherever you get those. Just search PHLY Flyers. I am Bill. That is Charlie. Thank you, Brenna. Let's go Flyers.
We all silly like the mayor.